Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Benny. I'm working for Fortinet for the last 8 years, coming from an engineering background and now managing Israel, Cyprus, and Greece. Again, I want to thank you all for joining this short session, staying ahead of the threat. I know it sounds booming, but we'll see how practical we can be. So the next slide is describing you what's actually happening everywhere in the world, for any private customer, for every organization, either it's an SMB, an enterprise, or a telecom. We see in the news everywhere that people get hurt, business get compromised. Now the main question is not always how hackers do it. They do it, they find the ways. The main question is why. So the next scale is actually demonstrating how easy for anyone to get an organization compromised and create a breach. It's very easy. You can find in the internet free tools. So actually at any cost, at low cost, with a huge ROI not for the organization, a huge ROI for the hacker. He needs to invest nothing, just his time, just his experience, to get money back, to get information, to get some resources back from the organization. So the problem is big. The problem is big everywhere, okay? I come from a country which is very security-oriented, both defense, both the industry, everyone speaks about cybercrime, okay? Now we know all the breaches which were out there in the US, about the Sony organization, about the investments. We see organization spending money for protection, okay? But the loss is not just the security breach. The loss is the reputation loss. Being out there for any business, you can understand that if a bank or a health company or a university is being compromised, it's anywhere in the news. Anywhere in the news, then customers like us, like me and you, sitting at home, seeing that the health company or the bank is being compromised, we start thinking what to do. Is it safe? Is it not safe? So what worries me more, that I'm sure that everyone sitting here in the room doesn't really know that currently in your network there is a breach. Maybe it will pop up, maybe not. But research says and analytics systems identify breaches which are more than half a year in your network. In your network, in your bank, in your SMB, in your retail. What worries me even more, that someone else from the external, it can be an advisor, it can be your consultant, your reseller, it can be my company or any other vendor, will tell you, yes, you have a breach. This is what worries me more as a customer. So why do all these breaches continue? Actually, three main reasons. A lot of organizations and customers, the enterprise, the telecoms, invest on compliance. It's important to invest on compliance, but compliance will not give you a solution for zero-day attacks. Two, risk-based. A lot of organizations invest in analytics and forensic analysis to check what happened. But what about what's happening now? Not in the past, half a year ago, 3 months ago, the last 2 weeks. So we need a reactive approach, not just an analysis. Too many point solutions. Many organizations, again, being pushed by vendors, by resellers, 8 years ago, 5 years ago, to buy firewalls, to buy wireless solutions, to buy IPS, to buy antivirus, mail security, a lot of bad or good words to be able to deploy in your network. But too many point solutions do not interact. They do not integrate together. Okay? So we look for the border. Now, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, any organization had a specific border. It had a data center where you store all your important resources. You had the perimeter, you had the wireless. A simple way or a clear way to get out from the network and a clear way traffic to get into the network. But this has totally changed. A lot. The border is become borderless. Why? Because organizations wants to keep things on the cloud. Organizations wants to have access, simple access for you, for me, to the organization, through the mobile, through the wireless, through the mail, through a lot of ways to get in, a lot of ways to get out. Meaning, we need to find a different approach. We need to discuss differently. It's not a product. It's not a firewall. It's not a sandbox. Again, these are point solutions. We need to discuss about a framework. 3 rules, 3 steps actually. Prevention. We want to prevent the attack. We want to detect the outcomes of the attack. And next phase, we want to mitigate the next attack. Okay? So 3 steps we need to take care for. For each step, there is a solution which completes itself to a framework. So prevention is a point solution. We can deploy certain type of products out there. It can be any brand. It can be for any vendor. Again, most of them will do the job. Okay? Firewalling, IPS, antivirus, web application, email security, but again, it's prevention. It's not detection. Detection relies on different technologies, which is based on client reputation, IP reputation, payload analysis, yes, by sandbox, by other content solutions. But again, this is detection based on network anomaly, file anomaly, payload anomaly, and mitigation. Mitigation relies on 2 different spheres, I call it. 1, mitigation through education of the people, of process. Okay? Mitigation can rely on research. Mitigation can rely on our company or any threat analysis service that you see out there. A combination of all these elements actually create a framework with a set of enforcement points. An enforcement point can be a firewall. It can be your mail security. It can be the system that protects your web portal. But everything needs to be interacted. Everything needs to be integrated. With the system, with a research team, with a system that can analyze the content, that can analyze the traffic. So we integrated all this framework into a single solution, a single framework where we believe that a complete solution is much better than a single point solution. Why? Because anywhere in the network, if the traffic is coming from a USB, if the file is coming from a USB at the endpoint, or a user downloads a mail, or posts a file through the web portal, or a customer from a branch or from the wireless is accessing the data center, still it's traffic that needs to be analyzed. Needs to be analyzed in real time. So we see this picture, and we can understand that a lot of organizations make security from the outside. It's crunchy, it's difficult to penetrate, and in the inside they rely on human behavior. They rely on simple security techniques. Why? Organizations do not want to hurt the user experience. If we deploy a lot of elements inside the network for security, for payload analysis, for file analysis, a user requesting a file, it can take a few minutes. We don't have few minutes. In the era we live today, everything is instant. Everything is one click. So, what do we protect? We protect the organization intellectual property. We protect financial information, sales information, technical information. Every organization, it doesn't matter which type of business you run, you need to be protected. Otherwise, you'll get hit. Most probably, you are already in that condition. It's only a question of when. So a simple approach, again, internal security. I've put a simple diagram, a very simple one, showing interaction within of buildings, of a network, a simple one, a traffic, a breach coming out from a simple network, going back to the second network seamlessly. I'll tell you a secret, even if you had a firewall, it would pass it. Why? Because a firewall, a normal firewall, is not checking payloads. It's not checking the SSL traffic along with the file payloads. This is what organizations are today. So we've developed an approach. Again, it's a technique named an internal segmentation firewall, where we deploy seamlessly without any change in the network. Any change. You don't need to change routing. You don't need to change anything. You deploy a solution which is hardware-based or software-based, which will be able to mitigate the breach within the current network. So again, it's not a complete solution for that type of deployment. Still, a specific network was compromised. We need to add another layer to the endpoint. Here it comes to my company I've been working at for the last 8 years. We're putting a lot of investments. We have huge references in Greece. You don't need to go to some other places. In the last year, we've put investment in financial organizations, in the academic, in the hospitals, in the government, in the defense customers, projects with millions of dollars to protect, to defend, and to mitigate. Fortinet today, an American company, worth a few billion of dollars, puts a lot of investments also in Greece. 2 months ago, we've had our worldwide conference in Greece to speak, to talk with resellers, with customers, with the Fortinet employees together. And we discovered a market that has a need. So we comply with a solution for any layer in the network. It can be a layer of wireless. It can be your internal resources. It can be cloud access. It can be your endpoint protection, your mail. This is Fortinet. We will be more than happy seeing you in our booth. Tomorrow, we have a workshop where we demonstrate everything we discussed practically. If you put your business card in our booth, tomorrow we'll have some in the workshop, a competition. 3 will get a small FortiGate with a wireless. 3 participants will be able to enjoy this technology and actually experience it. Thank you for your time.